And we are live. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing? We're back. I took a very long time today. I'm sorry about that. I know I promised a stream a few hours ago. Hammy.
Oh my. Look who's hanging out here after work. Virgulilla, I'm happy to be here after a long day.
Good to see you.
Blood pressure by miles. Hello to everyone. May your time zone be peaceful, your work day stress-free, and your next meal delicious.
Thank you, Hammy. 47 months. Really appreciate it, as always. And yeah, hi, everybody. How are you doing? Beppo, Sora, Dilf, Alien, Bill, Cider. Hello, everybody. Nayara, Cobalt, welcome. Hello, Leo. And missing anybody? Hey, y'all. Alchemist. Hope you all are having a fantastic time zone wherever you are. Yeah, I had a bit of a long day, but we made it here. That's the important thing. Your phone is at 6%. Ooh, I hope it lasts you. Yes, today we're eating microplastics. So it's been a medical horror idea I've had in my mind for quite a long time now. Bean, are you facing away from chat? He's shy. This is a medical horror idea I've had for a long time now. And look at his leggy here. The basic concept is we all know we have microplastics accumulated in our bodies, right? What if all the microplastics you're consuming could slowly start merging together when they find each other in the bloodstream or deposited in tissues and start polymerizing again and essentially creating larger and larger structures, right? The microplastics becoming macroplastics. And slowly, as they do this, they start like becoming actual little chunks of visible plastic embedded into your body, which for our picture, since we want something visual, could just be like poking out of your skin. Because eventually, if these grow big enough and they're in your soft tissues, they would just poke out of your skin, create a wound of some sort or blister, and you'd pop in. It's just a bit of plastic in there, and that starts happening all over your body. That's the idea. How does that sound? Microplastic skeleton. Yes, we haven't had a straight up medical horror in a while. We always have parasites, right? We always have stuff that combines medical horror and speculative biology, because that's like two of my favorite things. So I love making those. But we haven't had classic medical horror in a little bit.
Pull out the macroplastic to eat the chunks. Turn it back into microplastics.
Smart. Hey, Lilith. Hey, snakes. We are filling the plastic today. Eric, thank you for the follow. I also missed a new follow by the Cyber Guy. Thank you for the follow a few minutes ago.
Will you go to make the failures around recycling even more horrifying?
Exactly. This is what happens to you if you don't recycle. Also, I'm looking at I have this picture on my second monitor. I need y'all to see it because I was looking for pictures of microplastics to put in the announcement posts, right? And I just came across this one, which I know it's sad. I know it's, seals getting caught into webbing is really dangerous for them. It can eventually kill them. But look at her. She looks gorgeous. Isn't this fit? I love the pose. Poor seal, but I really like this picture. I was looking for pictures of microplastics, and guess what? There's a bunch of AI slop in there. Ew. Ew.
Ariel.
Oh yeah, Ariel would not be thriving in this ecosystem. Hey Johnny. Who's this diva? Yeah, she's wearing a fishnet top. Exactly. Love that Alchemist. Let's engorge the AI again. We're engorging the AI every day, Shazam. Welcome. Me sitting down to eat my microplastic salad. Yummy. I mean, honestly, this is kind of like forbidden candy. What is that? Okay, what did you? I assume you guys had this, especially in America, because you had all the weirdest candy. But this candy was like sort of like powder that had this like popping, like it popped a bit in your mouth. It was like a little spicy. In Spain we would call that polvos pica pica, like itchy powder, I guess. Pop rocks. Yeah, this is forbidden pop rocks. Or itchy powder, if you're a man of culture like me. It even looks like sugary, right? I'm sorry, I would eat the macroplastics.
Itchy powder?
Yeah. Polvos pica pica. I mean, they're kind of itchy, right? A little bit. Is it wrong? Is it wrong to call it itchy powder? I don't think so. I think it's right. Also, I tightened up the mic, so hopefully it should make a lot less sound when I move it around today. I'm still trying to get accustomed to this new mic because it has a bit of different sensitivity, like directionality and stuff. So you let me know if I sound too loud, not loud enough. If there's anything weird to the sound, as always, just shout it out in chat. Because I do not know. I actually I had a call. What was it? Last night, and it sounded good. I think there was no problem with it. So I'm hoping that the sound is still okay. I mean, you told me about it though. You could have just not. You could have just said nothing. Because now I know you're gunning for closing my Photoshop. Is that your goal? The psychological damage of that, of just not knowing when you'll close my Photoshop, or I don't know. I guess if you want to just bring it to me by surprise, you're kind of announcing it a bit too early, right? Let me put in the camera again.
You'll never know.
I'll just save a lot. Fun dip. Pop rocks aren't powders, more of a very fine sugar gravel.
I'm almost at 80k. There's going to be 2 of us sooner than later.
Oh my god. Crazy dips. It was lollipop you could lick so the pop rocks stick to it. We had those. That's actually like the common form you'd find in Spain for this. Like it usually came with a lollipop that you would just like dip into the bag. Clips a bit when I turn towards it. Yeah, maybe I set the gain a bit too high. I'm also like speaking while looking directly at it. I can, oh, sorry if that made a sound. I can also just like put it a little bit more to the side, and that way I won't speak like directly into it when I speak at chat. Yeah, hopefully that clips less. I'll always be tuning it a little bit until I find like the right amounts. Any news about Lemon Pig? Was he all right? Did you save him? Yes. Lemon Pig is fine, thankfully. It was pulled out of the trash, or it was unknowingly thrown out by my mom. Because she was like, oh, this is gross. And she threw it away. Thankfully, Lemon Pig is stable. Fine. Nothing was broken. The coin, very important. The coin is still in his mouth. So it is the bad luck will not befall our household tonight. I mean, my mom saw it like as it was rotting. I told her like it was for a project, but she just assumed like that was over, like that was done a while ago. She was like, "Oh, it's just this completely moldy lemon that is absolutely it's moldy, but I think it's just dried out. Like I think the mold is pretty much inactive at this point. It's just completely blackened on the outside and really dry. It's like about half of its original size, and it probably would be less, but I actually emptied out the insides of Lemon Pig a while ago. I performed an autopsy on it and filled it with like wood shavings and topped that with tin foil so it wouldn't fall away. So like its belly is now tin foil. And yeah, it's just completely dry. It's tiny. It has a face of suffering. You only got the notification now? Oh, Twitch notifications are notoriously bad. I would recommend if you use Discord to just like get the notifications for Discord, since those are more reliable than Twitch. Take a bite of the Lemon Pig. Mmm, dusty. Discord didn't say anything either. What, really? No, it did. It did. There was a notification at 2:01. Like when I started. Do you have the correct role for Discord? You do? Well, the message did pop up like when I started the stream. So maybe it's something with your Discord notifications. You gotta use your 10k points for Discord role? Nice. It's a Discord notified people. Hey, there it is. You do the roll, Nad. Tacophobia. Let's see. What's the name of that? Deviant. There we go. You got it now. You are purple, Liz. Is everyone changing their name colors? That's gonna like slightly freak me out because I started, not freak me out, but it's gonna take me like half a second more to notice who is who in the chat, because I start associating the name colors with your usernames. So it's like that test, that psychological test where you see like the word green but it's in blue and you have to say the name of the color and not the word, and it kind of breaks your brain a little bit. You ever done that one? It's actually pretty hard, especially if you have to go fast. Has Habromania hit your algorithms at any point? No, what is Habromania? Sounds like a 19th century like psychological disorder. That's not used anymore nowadays. The Stroop test. Yes, the Stroop test. That's a funny name. Explode a kitty. Okay, that took me a second to read. Hi, Explode. So, yeah, well, while we chat, let's get into today's topic. Now then, I think everybody has made it to the stream. As I mentioned, it is a medical horror disease where the microplastics that are in your blood start fusing together into longer and longer structures. They start polymerizing again. That's the word, right? And just spontaneously reforming into bigger and bigger pieces of plastic that eventually start becoming like macroplastics. They start becoming big enough to be visible and start causing like actual internal damage. And just for our visuals, start popping out of the skin and tissues to just give us something really gross. I haven't quite decided where, because I think we're only going to do one image for this. I think it's only worth one image to explain the concept. So what would be a cool image for this? That's what I'm thinking about. Should we do... I like to do hands a lot, because I think hands and faces are usually, you know, the most like sensitive feeling parts of the human body. That's where our eyes go first. That's, you know, sort of some of the most important parts of your body. So I always like to do body horror things in hands or faces for the most part. I think this is one of those cases where I think somewhere in the hand or in the face would be most effective to just like create this like grossed out reaction. Or like, something like that. Dracula flow voice. The microplastics from a zine pouch just hit my amygdala. Now I'm treating the whole world like a fight or flight response. I love that. Spooky, thank you so much for that sub. I really appreciate it. And welcome. An entrance. And Spacey.
Minecraft horror mod combo on my desktop.
Minecraft horror mod. Thank you so much, Spacey, for 35 entire months. I really appreciate it. Chaos says is exactly the type of art I will not be able to watch, but I'm glad to be here for now before the horrors. I don't know how, like, I don't want to make it bloody, sort of gross. I think it has to feel a little like clean and clinical. That's my favorite kind of body horror. Kind of like a heat blister from touching a really hot pot. Maybe blistery might be good, yeah. If you did feed, you'd end up on the fetish website.
Macroplastics.
Thank you so much for the bits, Ricochet. Also, did we get Hype Train? Everybody supporting at the same time. Thank you so much. Ears. It's true, I haven't really done ears. Mouth. Mouth is a great place for body horror. Because I think like something about the mouth I really like for body horror is it feels very like tactile. We all know the experience of having something kind of in our mouth that's off or wrong and just having to feel that all day and constantly like having to go touch it with your tongue. that sort of thing is the worst. I love it.
We about to become fish with this one.
We are.
What about in the nose?
Nose. I guess we have never done nose. It could like block the airways. I guess it doesn't feel as visceral as like on the surface of the face. It feels more internal, right? It's also not a great visual to show because it's just, you know, there's not a lot of space to edit. It's sort of a lot smaller, so, and cramped. That's why I never do nose, I guess.
Suffocating by plastic sounds awful.
I guess it does. I feel like if it's like all over your body, I don't think suffocation would be the method of death. I think you'd probably die of circulatory problems a lot before enough microplastics. There we go. My chair was blocked. Enough microplastics sort of accumulated to cause like an airway problem. Does that make sense? Let's get the light correctly. There, that's a bit better. Also, hi Cindere. Sorry, I'm catching up with messages. I'm kind of like jumping back and forth. Plastic builds up in your sweat glands and inflames, turning into a pus. Ooh, absolutely gross. Not great for an image because I don't like to do a lot of bodily fluids. I like my body horror to stay clean because I think it's more effective that way. At least it is for me. I mean, clean in terms of fluids and blood and stuff. Because I guess something about studying medicine for me is that it cured me of most icks, most of my gross feeling. Except for a couple things, right? I've mentioned this. I mentioned dermatology was really, really hard for me because I hate like really hardcore skin stuff is the worst. And parasites, because I don't like parasites from the like more of the metaphysical concept of them, right? But I'm fine with the images though, and it's not like gross in a physical way. But yeah, I think that's makes me lean more towards body horror. That's more like conceptual rather than hear something gross with like pus and big wounds and blisters and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Although I'm not, you know, I will include them if it's good for the storytelling, obviously. So yeah, I think like coming out straight of the skin is possibly the most effective. Yeah, faces are always really effective. Eyes are always really effective. But I already made something a few years ago. I guess this is a retool of this concept a little bit because it is partly inspired by it. A few years ago, I made this medical horror thing. It was actually one of my first medical horror things ever. It was like metal crystals growing from the eyes. And I don't recall which metal it was. See, this was years ago. Let me remember. It was somewhere around 2021, I believe. Okay, this is the one. So they're like little crystals, or I guess yeah, more like metallic structures. I guess they're kind of crystalline, right? That were growing from your eye. Honestly, I really love how this reflection came out. I kind of cooked with that one. This reflection, I'm still not super sure about. Maybe it should have been lower. I did kind of want to reflect it in the eye, though. But yeah, I like how this one came out. And there's also like very faint little bits of crystal inside the eye. Gums is always a good one. Plastics growing under the fingernails. If I hadn't done a really recent thing with a parasite growing out of the fingernails, I would consider it. But I did this one with the counterfeit mussel. Also, did I cook with the name counterfeit mussel? I really like this name. I'm sad I couldn't translate it very well to Spanish. As I told you guys, I'm translating all of my website, with it all my stories to Spanish, and Sora is helping me a lot, by the way. And coming up, like, one of the hardest things is actually just like the names of things. Every time there's a species, obviously the species name will be the same because that's an international thing. It's not language dependent, but the common names, even the way that common names are created in English is very different from Spanish. There's a lot more things in English that have common names, a lot more species that have common names compared to Spanish, which is, I don't know, just an interesting little thing. Microplastic eye floaters. Yeah, I recently did that one with jellyfish. When was this? About a year ago, actually. Not that recently, but recently enough. It would be in the same collection, so... Actually, I don't know if I put this one in the medical horror collection. There's a bit of overlap, obviously, with between bestiary and medical horror. In the two, I mean, specifically the collections on my website, right? There are repeats between them. At some point, I might clean it up and only make them one or the other. But for now, there's a few that exist in both. And I'm not sure if I put this one in medical horror, actually. May I keep complaining about how Bloodbark could have a cool name, but all the cool names were already taken? True. What did we end up with for Bloodbark? Did we land on one, Sora? I forget now. Would you consider doing more cosmic horror in the future like Shipetotek or The Hand? Oh, The Hand in Space? I wouldn't consider that cosmic horror, except in the very literal sense that it takes place in the cosmos, right? But I get what you mean. More like space horror. Yeah. I think for Shipetotek, I do want to make a sequel series at some point. I just don't know exactly the shape it will take, but I think it'll be like a few straggler humans that are left trying to live on the meat planets, just trying to survive there, which might be interesting. Again, I don't know it's the exact shape of this, and it's probably going to be in a while just to give it some space. For now, the Terry series is finished, but I do love space horror. I do have an idea with black holes that I'll probably get to at some point. Microscopic black holes that just traverse in little groups, like tiny little clusters of like atom-sized black holes. And if they happen to pass through you, they just kill you, or they don't just kill you. I guess they tear some kind of hole through you, or they mess with your body in like really weird ways. I thought that might be interesting. A bit of a mix between the cosmic horror and medical horror, or the cosmic space horror and medical horror, right? Genres. I think that might be cool.
So you mean gamma radiation?
I mean, imagine the radiation, but instead of like particles, it's black holes. Like very, very small black holes.
So you mean gamma radiation?
No, I don't mean gamma. So Bill says, quote unquote, recently. A year ago is recently, Bill. I know you're very young. A year ago is nothing. Uh, once you get to 30, a year you'll blink and a year will pass. You know, tell me which one Sir Tartarus liked the most. I forget. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. We'll decide on Bloodbark once we get to it. Hi, Bean. Oh, I wonder who the first person to find out Chipotle was edible was in the alternate ending. It was me, obviously. I was the first brave soul to try to eat the meat. Hey, Amper. Make a shirt that says I survived the Meat Planet takeover. That might be a fun one. It would have to go with a fun design. I already have a Chipotle design. What do you think, Bean? Oh, he is awakening. Hey, Bean. Anyway, let's decide on a specific idea for the microplastics. Because I mean, today I'm kind of taking it chill today, as you can see. I'll be mostly chatting, but well, then I'll set up the bean cam. There he is. Hi, Bean. Yeah, I'm taking it chill today because since we started late, I don't know if we'll actually finish today's edits. So I'm not going to stress too much about it. Usually I like to make one edit per stream, like 100%. But I don't want to rush it, so... Hey, Bean. He's saying hi to the camera. Oh, he's trying to eat... Hey, don't eat my pencils. Oh, he's headbutting me. Bean does not want me to start. What? What's going on with the... Hold on, chat. What's going on with the camera? Alright, here it is. I guess I moved it accidentally. Hola, Bimbo. Look at his pouch. Look at his primordial pouch. No, Bean, come over. Approach. Yes. Good. Look at his pouch. Every time I touch it, he just goes backwards. Touch my belly. He does not like to be grabbed by the pouch. Oop. I'm patting. Pat the ass. He loves that. He is so cute. My brother was home today, which he lives in a different city, so he'll just come by sometimes, and this is one of the reasons I was late for this stream, by the way. My brother was here specifically for me because he brought me a car. I've been looking to buy a car since I got here to Asturias, right? Because I came back from the Canary Islands, didn't have a car. So I was in the market for one, and as it turns out, my brother, who also recently came to the Canary Islands for a different island, though, he was living a couple islands over. He bought a car there. He brought it over, and the car's a few years old. He wanted a new one, and there's a law that says you can't resell cars for a year if you've brought them like either to or from the Canary Islands. I think it's like a measure to deal with speculation. The thing is, my brother wanted a new car, and he couldn't sell his, and I was looking for a car. So yeah, he's giving me his car, and I'm gonna take care of it until, and then pay for his monthly installments until next year ish, when I can officially buy it. But yeah, it's a really nice arrangement. We all win. So yeah, finally getting a car after a few months of not having one. It was fine because I did have buses, and I could also ask my parents for their car if I needed one. So it's been okay, but still, it's good to have it. I have a driver's license? Yeah, since 18. It took me 4 attempts to pass it. But I swear I'm a good driver. Don't think I'm like a bad driver. I only failed the exams for very stupid reasons. Isn't that right, Bean? Yeah, I remember I failed one exam because at the very end, I was doing great. At the very end, the examiner lady is like, okay, let's pull over to the side. We were in a street with like cars parked on the side, right? She was like, let's pull over to the side. I think there was another person like this that switch places. So obviously, as a regular person would do, I pull over. Come on.
Kill 12 people over is 4 tests. No is fatalities are only 5 each year.
Yeah, that's not a lot. That's fine. So, right, I pull over to the side, and there's cars passing by. So what any person would do is like to try to pull in as close to the cars like parked as you can, just so you don't bother people passing by in the street. And that feels like the respectful thing to do, right? And it wouldn't bother like the person coming up from behind would be coming from the left. So yeah, there's no issue, right, in this situation. But the examiner was like, "Oh, you parked too close to those cars. You failed." So yeah, I failed because I tried to be nice and let other cars pass, but apparently that was too close to other cars. Yeah, it was bullshit. Most of my exams were bullshit until I finally passed it. Another one, I failed it because there was a stop. Like, you know, you're coming from an intersection from a small street into like a larger, like, 2-lane street. And you're going to the right? So it's a simple stop. No street light or anything, just a stop sign, a stop on the floor. And you see that the street is completely empty, like the most favorable circumstances ever. And turns out, I didn't realize this at the time, because she only told me later. I don't fully believe that's what happened. Turns out, I didn't do a full perfect stop. I only stopped to like 0.00001 kilometers per hour, right? But I didn't fully stop, so that's a fail. That was the 2 ones I was really angry about. And I don't even believe, I think I might have actually stopped. I don't even, like, she just told me after, like, you didn't fully stop. I'm like, really? The old California stop. It was, God, it was very stupid. So I always remember her when this lady who failed me whenever I do full stop.
That's called a rolling stop. Which was Val's signature move when hitting all those people.
God damn it.
This we tried to get you an fake California roll? That's so rude. You can't even run down a flea at that speed.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Anyway, that was my. I sorry for the tangent. That was my experience. So, let's actually do stuff. That's what you're here for, right? Yeah, they were pretty strict. I think it just depends on the examiner you get. I got the same lady twice, and she failed me twice. And then the others were other, like, examiners. But it really depends. Like, the time I passed, it was like just was a really chill guy who didn't care much. It was like, yeah, you drove fine. You're good. It's just luck.
Why don't we me and hita parkar in a restaurant parking lot?
Damn. And then during the exam? That's rough, buddy.
Oh, she just hated your ass. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, that's true. Tornado news. Everything's all right with me. It was a town away. The internet didn't go down. The tornado touched down. It cut the power to the sirens in the town. It started at... everything was fine. I'm glad. That sounds very scary, though. Not the exam, you're just a shitty driver. Oh my god, thankfully it wasn't the exam. I can't imagine, like, hitting another car during... Even if it's a light bump during an exam, I would just dissolve and die. You passed your driver's test and then never drove. Oh, just like my sister. And now she can't drive. It's very funny. Let's figure this out. We got a few options. I think eyes would be too similar to that other related idea that I did a while ago, right? With the metal crystals, this stuff. So eyes probably a no-go. Hands, God, hands are kind of one of my most common things, right? And I feel like I repeat hands too much sometimes, but they're also really effective for body horror. I don't know. Hands could be. Face. Just draw a smiley face with a horrible plastic growth coming out from it. Face might be the best. I tend to do faces. An elbow, well, it would be very annoying on the elbow, I bet. You know what you must do to the body? That's ominous.
But if I get you then footage of them going down minus would you use it in a future edit?
Sure, yes, absolutely. I'd love ANT footage. Out of hair follicles like Play-Doh. I like that. Mice are not rats. Thank you for the follow. Might be neck. So here's one I've done that might be similar as well. Let me find this. What was it? Like 2024. It's another like things growing out of your skin deal. And I did use for that the hand for that one, which is another point in favor of face or something that isn't hand. This one is like the veins themselves, like your own veins start growing into these like thick trunk-like structures that pop out of your skin. Which is honestly still one of my, like, personally, of the medical horror things I've done. This would be one of the most terrifying ones for me personally, I think. I've done back quite a few times. I don't think it would be as effective for microplastics. Or I guess let's just call them macroplastics. I don't think they would be as effective because they still, like, I wouldn't want the plastic accumulations to be huge. I would still want them to be reasonable. as in like maybe a few centimeters long at most. So anything that's a close-up will be good. Gums might be good as well. By the way, this is it. This could take a couple different shapes, but I'm thinking it either pops out of the skin. Let's just kind of make the skin and put a little blister on it. It either pops out in like spiky things, like irregular spiky structures, something like this, or in like taller branching structures. That said, in this second case, I guess the second case does not make as much sense, because this would need to grow from top to bottom, right? It's being sort of created from the bottom and being pushed up. So I guess both could work with that, but I wouldn't do something like super branching. Nothing like branches downwards or anything like that. It would still need to be roughly, even if it has several points, I think it would still need to be roughly cone shaped. So it needs to be thicker at the bottom. And it's only being pushed out because there's new plastics being added below constantly. And since there's tissues underneath and the plastic can't push those tissues out, takes the path of least resistance, so gets pushed up. I think that's the general gist of it. But within that, I think it can be like a little bit twisty. I wouldn't want it to be like super perfect, like smooth plastic. I also think it should be made of like different patches of different colors, perhaps. Either different patches or Bean. What are you playing with? Oh, you can play with that. That's fine. Either a bunch of different patches of varying colors, or each of the little spikes is a different color entirely, or mostly entirely. Like it's more or less homogeneous. Bean. I'll play with that. Terry is falling in love with Google in your Tomodachi Life Island. Yes. I'm really close to getting Tomodachi Life. If I do, I'm definitely making my own Terry, my own Googliel. I love this. Love to go on a date with Googliel. And kind of go crazy in like drawing their faces. I think that would be fun.
This is your sign.
Do it. Lou. It's me, White Dracula. How you doing, Lou, dear? Lou, we're figuring out this body horror disease in which the microplastics in your blood start fusing together, accumulating, sort of polymerizing, and eventually forming macroplastics. Thank you so much for your Prime sub, Lou. I appreciate it. Here, it's gonna... Oh, Bean! Don't attack that. It's just attacking random things now. The shin? With the microplastics? I feel like that's too big. I think it needs to be kind of a close-up, right? So if we do face, I'm sort of imagining cheek. I think that's kind of a good area. We would get sort of this perspective, or we get a bit of the mouth, a bit of the eye, but it's really close up. Because I think realistically, if we make really, really big accumulations of these, they would feel a lot faker. Behind the ear, it feels less gross than the front of the face. What do you guys think? I guess not as in gross, but as a like impactful image. I guess behind the ear you would not notice. That's true. The thing is, like, if it grows as a cone like this, you would, even if you noticed it, there's not a lot you could do about it without surgery. Without like actually opening up the skin, right? Because the skin would bend upwards and would essentially like lock this thing into a capsule. So you couldn't push it out like a zit. Maybe the spike was more column shaped, like a bit rounded off. I do want it to be spiky because here's the thing, right? You got the skin here. You got a little bit that starts accumulating. Over time, it starts growing. And as it does, as more gets added, it will start being pushed in the direction of least resistance, right? So it starts getting pushed upwards. And as it accumulates, it keeps being pushed upwards, which will naturally create sort of cone shape. A little bit of spiky shape. Also, I assume like even the more rounded ones being like a loose plastic thing would probably end up like shattering and creating spikier shapes. Even if it's not like a perfect cone. You know, Fredo had a crush on Ampan. Happy accidents, I love that. Y'all talk about the exact place you had surgery. We know all about your life. Remember.
You ever heard that sad story of that farmer who got skin cancer and he just cut the growth off with a pocket knife and so that was enough? Anyway, that's probably what would happen for some people who hate doctors with the macroplastics.
True, true. You might end up coughing up a bit. Oh, you definitely cough up bits of microplastics. I'd love that. Yeah. Yeah, like Lou said, layers of the 3D prints, right? You get, there's a sort of a direction of movement, which is to the least area of least resistance. Realistically, you'd first get, as this thing grows out, right? You'd first get a bump on the skin, which eventually would thin enough, and once the cone is big enough, it would just poke out, and eventually, you know, once this is grown, it would give you this sort of effect. Oh, Winnie. I see no fault in Winnie's ways. Okay, so that's the general idea. I think
I have accumulated
cheek is my favorite so far.
plastics in my body to remake a credit card.
Oh yeah, we do absolutely. All of us have enough plastics to get at least a couple credit cards out of our blood. Whoa! Hold on. Did you did you both ban a Photoshop tool at the same time? Did you just coordinate? Puppet warp and lasso tool. Oh my god. Yes, you did. It was too much of a coincidence.
Yes, we did.
Fuck. Well, I can't use puppet warp and lasso tool. Those are good choices. Also, Shattens, I'm just passing by your art. Looks cool. You have no idea what's going on. Thank you so much. Have a great day as well, Chattens. At least it's only 2. 2 is still a lot.
Hail to the motherfucking king.
Oh, damn it. Alright, so no lassos, y'all. Let's look for pictures of cheeks for now, since that's still doable. This might be good as well, like this area. I do like this image quite a bit because it's very naturalistic. Like it hasn't been edited to remove zits or anything. So it feels very natural. So that is a good choice. Let me see if I can... Does it just have... Hold on. This image is missing a chunk. It's just missing a chunk at the bottom. Okay, sure. I'll just crop it a little differently. Hey, Bean. Hey, you're active today. What's up with you? Oh no, I did mispronounce your name. What's the best? What's the recommended way to pronounce it? I will keep it in mind.
By your lucky you put a limit on how many Photoshop tools one can ban. Because I was also planning to ban the undo.
Undo? Would that count as a Photoshop tool? That's just a shortcut. I don't know. Chat. Would Control Z be acceptable as a ban? What do you think? Bean, what's up? Here he is. Oh, psh. No, don't get my notebook.
Did it yourself the other day.
I did say it myself? Okay. I'll trust my own judgment then. Yep. No, Bean, do not move the screen. I guess I did say so. I will trust that you're not manipulating my memories. Hey, Percam. Have to go to bed real soon. Oh, thank you so much. Love the medical horror. Well, you'll probably like what's coming in this one. So hopefully you get to see it when it's done. Thanks for saying hi. Ban importing images. Please, if you ban importing images, only do it after a while. Not a tool in the toolbar, not bannable. True, that's also true. I feel like tools and also, because like Puppet Warp, for example, I think it's a very bannable thing, but it's not a tool in the toolbar. It's under, I think it's under edits. So like, I think anything that's on here or on here is bannable. So I guess undo is on here. Which, oh, Bean, do not move the microphone. Hold on, Bean wants to say something, chat. Bean. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Oh, here. Put the mics here. Yeah, here. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Well, I guess that was all. I don't know if the mic even picked any of that up. He just bumped it a little bit. Bro has a lot to say today. Oh, let's switch the bean cam. Hold on. To figure out a better method for this bean cam. Problem is, if I put it right next to Bean's bed, it gets the arm for the mic sort of in the middle. So yeah, I have to figure out a better spot for it.
Remember last year when I was asking you about Photoshop tools? And what you considered as such? You were your own undoing.
God damn it. Last year, we were planning this for a while. Are people voting to take away my art tools? No, they're just using their points for it. I do let them steal my powers. It is their God-given right for listening to me yap for so many hours. If you took off the limit how many times viewers can ban Photoshop tools and Sora used all their points, would you just have to end stream? Change it to a game? I guess at some point I would just have to give up. And if you save up enough points, you can make him close Photoshop without saving. Only a real master would do that, I suppose. Yeah, not like anyone in this stream here in this chat is on it. I did create my own undoing. Okay, let's find a couple good images. This one's heavily filtered in a very strange way too. But I do like it because it's unedited, so could work. Let me just let me quickly cancel out those greens. It's mostly in the highlights, right? It feels a little better. It's just like strangely green. Yeah, it's still a little bit too removed, but it's a bit more natural. Lots of makeup images. Obviously, I looked for cheeks, so it does make sense. This one's very neutral, but very good texture of the skin. It's narrow focus, though, which means we don't have a lot of space to edit. Oh, you're going snakes. Go, you're doing your autism endeavors. Enjoy, enjoy. Remember to hydrate and merch plug. Sure, I'll plug my merch. Check out my merch, y'all. I think this link should. Yeah, there it is. Check out my merch. You can get the Shipe Totek one. Hey, maybe I should. Hold on. Let me do something. Let me do something real quick right now. I had an idea. To log in here, but well, let me see if I can do it from my dashboard here real quick. Can I? Okay, select it. Yeah. Okay, figured it out. So as of right now, if you go to the merch store, the Shipe Totek shirts should have a 20% discount. If I did that correctly. Yeah, 20% off. There you go. 20% off since the Shipe Totek series is finished. There you go. You got the link in the chat if you want to check it out. I still really like this design. It's a few years old, but it's full of little references. It has Shipe, quote unquote, Terry Totek as the meat planet. There's Googlia And there's the Valdivians. That's you guys. Got here super late. What are we doing? We're doing microplastics that accumulate into macroplastics that pop out of your skin. So I'm trying to find good pictures of skin. Thinking like the cheek. Also, what is? Hold on. This picture's confusing me. What? The hands of pain and agony. What's going on here? Me when I see the hands of abject horror. What is even this image? Why is there like a blob in the middle? I'm confused. Anyway, I should focus. Oh, wait, another one. Another one. It's definitely the same hand as this one, by the way. Me when I say I see the hand of pure agony. Hand of summoning ghost boy. Oh, hey Raiders. How you doing? The evil hands of fear and despair. There's nothing to do to make this image scarier. These two images scarier. Already so scary. There it is. Oh wait, there's a giveaway. It's a giveaway. Y'all, if you want a Ship.deck shirt, thank you so much, Lilith, for gifting a shirt. Do exclamation point enter in the chat in the next couple minutes. So do it fast if you want a chance of getting a free shirt. There you go. There you go. Everyone drop in your enter and let's see who the winner is. Yeah, there's also a feature of the merch store, which I always forget to let people know of. I think it's really fun. And they let you do like impromptu giveaways if someone's cool and generous. Fingers crossed. Good luck, everybody. Also, hey, Arace. Sorry, your message got buried by all the enters. Stream is going well. We're kind of chilling and chatting today. A bit slow on the art, but that's fine. I'm not taking it. Try not to do it too fast. I need to do this more often. This is completely viewer. This is completely viewer initiated. Like anyone can do this at any time if they just get a shirt as a giveaway. Semi-spree or semi-spree, thank you so much for the follow. I forgot about it. Yeah, I forget this exists until it happens. Let's see, fourth wall. Giveaway winner, it's Marie. Marie draw 16. You got it. Congratulations. Yeah, if you get to the link that the fourth wall bot put in the chat here, you link it to your Twitch account. It should all be automatic. You should be able to get your shirt for free. So yeah, congrats. Coming over from Blue Sky. Always good to see you, Semi. Enjoy that shirt. I should have worn it today. I should have worn it when I finished the Super.deck series. I forget I have a pile of my own merch in the back here.
I am getting shirts for myself and my husband and saw the option.
Oh, thank you so much.
Would be nice to do because I was so mean earlier, lol.
It's you're rebalancing the universe. I like it. Okay, let's see. You got a lot of edits, like really pretty edited images of people's cheeks and like makeup and stuff. Obviously not really what we want. So I'm skipping over all those. Trying to get, and this one's still like a bit too edited. These two are quite good. Because they're pretty natural and unedited. There it goes. It's been claimed. On the D&D chart, you're just chaotic. No good, no evil, no neutral. Just chaotic. You truly are. I love it. There, yeah, there's a bunch of birds. I guess like birds with cute cheeks. It does make some sense. Also a few squirrels with nuts in their cheeks. A lot of squirrels, actually. And so much makeup. Okay, I think we got a couple of good options. I'm kind of scrolling down just in case, but we're starting to get a lot of unrelated images. What is that? Just, my train of thought just stopped entirely. This is so creepy. What is that? What is it? This is all even made of? Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Cabbage Patch. It's a Cabbage Patch Kid? Is that like a type of doll? That seems handmade. It's hand painted. And thank you to someone who got a bunch of, who got the Shipitatek shirt and two other things. Oh wait, it's another giveaway. Who did this one?
Liquid fire. Text me on this. They are all the spawn of a god that should not be named.
Okay, it's another giveaway. Let's wait for the bots to. I guess it's waiting for a hype train. I don't know. There's not a hype train going. Don't type enter yet. Don't type enter yet. Wait until the end of the merch train. What's a merch train? Fourth Wall is just dropping like completely new features on us. Anyway, wait to enter until the bot actually pops up. It's a new thing Fourth Wall is doing. Oh, I did not know about this. I guess they have their own like version of hype trains.
Cabbage Kids were a soft doll marketed towards children in the US and Canada in the 90 seconds, originally starting as handmade. They were quickly industrialized before people realized how fucking creep they were.
Took them a sec, right? Let's check with this merch train. Oh, Twitch merch train. Huh. Oh, it's a beta thing, so I guess it's new, yeah. So I had it activated and I did not remember about this. Oh, okay. Now I do remember maybe activating this at some point and then forgetting about it. When this merch train ends, there should be another little giveaway for a mug. So let's see. It should pop up at some point. So we should have a mug giveaway and then another shirt giveaway. Thank you y'all for getting so much merch all of a sudden. I appreciate it. Don't enter yet. Don't enter yet. I don't think the we're waiting for Fourth Wall. I think it's like 10 minutes until the hype train merch train happens. Yeah, it's set at 10. So it'll pop up in a few minutes. Don't worry about it. Just stay tuned. Wait a little bit and we'll have a giveaway. 2 giveaways in a row, I think. I still don't understand it. Everyone's so generous, right? The people yearn for the free stuff. It rewards it exactly. Rewards the patient and eagle-eyed. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good picture because it's not an angle I've done yet. And I've done a lot of like face-based body horror. So this is kind of a new angle. It matches our like regular 3x2 crop quite well. It's a very naturalistic image. We got some real, little zits and imperfections that every skin has naturally. Those have not been edited out, which is a great plus for this image. And yeah, I think it's a pretty nice setup. Maybe with a little zoom, slightly different crop. Like we don't really have a background, so we could like crop it a little closer. Look up the Cabbage Patch Kid logo.
Oval look up the Cabbage Patch logo.
Cabbage Patch Kids logo. Oh, oh, oh no! This one's kind of cute. That's fine. I wouldn't call it like very cute, but it's fine. This one isn't. That's an egg that wished really hard to be alive. I don't like it. Kimchi is made of people. I like that. Fake babies growing out of cabbages. Yeah, no, hold on. Look at its little creep face. What is it? Why is it looking at us like that? I don't like that. It's horror in its own way. Oh god, we're seeing the horrors today. I haven't even done the microplastics. But we are experiencing our own kind of horrors. Okay, let's sort of zoom it into this point. We might change the crop later. Eyes so close together. That thing is a predator. People with blue eyes be like, yeah. There was a talking doll that will basically vocal stim. Haddock has a crush on Tintin. Oh, Tomodachi Life. Okay, it took me a second to get what you were talking about. Like, what is Hammy on about? Microplásticos más bien de tamaño promedio. Oh, we're doing macroplásticos today. Okay, so let me quickly figure out the shape of this. We'll take this little zit as a starting point.
And me san rollis that I end this evening virgulilla.
Virgulilla. So I'm kind of thinking about this size. And like a slightly twisty cone. With, you know, maybe a branch or two for the bigger ones. Kind of like several... If you have like several bits of microplastic and they start growing into this cone, eventually the cones will fuse into something. But, you know, there might be like a little bit of a ridge in between them to kind of show that, you know, they slowly fused. We got 2 Photoshop tools banned. You guys got 2 Photoshop tools banned. And I gotta remember this because I was actually about to use the lasso tool to move this around. Don't do that. Okay. If I mess up, if I use any of these tools, please laugh at me, and also like I'll have to legally go back to before I ever use these tools. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That should be about the size I would feel correct to me. But I don't know. Maybe there should be. Let me do like a different color. Although I think like eventually they would be made of patches of different colors. You know, kind of like they're made of different plastics, obviously. Now I'm like slightly paranoid, just reminding myself like, okay, which features abound before like changing to a new tool. So it would be like patchy like that. But if it's like bendy or flexible, I think it would actually be hard and brittle. Although maybe bendy would be good too. I guess that's something we're only really going to show through texture, so it's gonna be up to interpretation, I guess. Have you seen the plastiglomerate? Plastistones. No, that's a cool name though. Hold on, let me Google that real quick. Plastiglomerate. Whoa. Is it just like actual stone made of plastic? Plastic rock hybrid. That's fun. Microplastics are creating new ecosystems on the seabed. I heard about this, the ones that are on the surface, right? Like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, I think, is creating a new ecosystem that lives on it. Have not heard about the seabed though. Dystopian markers of the Anthropocene. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That eventually, like, futures, like, if humanity goes down, which at this rate, pretty likely, if humanity goes down, a species in like millions of years finding leftovers, or not even leftovers, like if it's millions of years, if it's long enough, I think that there probably wouldn't be like actual evidence of our existence, but they would find a layer of stone that's just full of garbage. So we're probably leaving some kind of proof of existence in the stone itself. Yeah, we're waiting for that. We're waiting for that giveaway. What's up with what's your name? Fourth Wall. What was this? Just a few minutes ago. So it should pop out any moment. You want to be buried in sand or mud to preserve your skeleton? I think becoming a bog body would be pretty cool. Chat, raise your hands if you'd like to become a bog body.
Plastic bog body.
Plastic bog body. Might parts be usable as organ donation? That's true as well. I mean, maybe donate your organs and then have like a loved one throw you into a bog. Just watch you pitifully sink. What? I mean, it just confuse future archaeologists. Like, oh, this bog body, this person must have fallen into the bog and died a horrible death trapped in there. And then they just look inside and there's no organs. It's what she wanted as you barely sink down. Oh, it would be so funny. I'm gonna put this in my will. Somebody throw my body into a bog. And oh no. I caught myself. I caught myself using the lasso. But you said lasso. But I got you. That says nothing about marquee. Which will be fine as long as there's nothing around what I need to select. Or hold on. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you how I can avoid your banning Photoshop tools. Let's say I want to get a tight cut of this. I use my marquee tool. And then I do this. So you thought you were messing with me. Oh shit, Grumbly Raid. Welcome everybody. How y'all doing? I'm trying to use Photoshop as Chad is actively banning my tools. Welcome folks. Okay, there's a lot of people. So let me just introduce myself real quick for the new folks. My name is Eduardo and I do Photoshop horror stories. So I'll basically, and this is Bean. Hold on, the camera is like wonky today. I can't get it to focus on him. That's Bean. Yeah, I'll make horror stories that kind of look real for a second. And if you want to check them out, you should go to this little website here or any of my socials, but those are linked on the website as well. And yeah, I'll show you one, the most recent one I did, just to give you an example before I actually explain what I'm doing today. Also, Grumbly, how was your stream? What did you do today? By the way, everybody who was here before, go follow Grumbly. Amazing sculptor. I love the masks he does. So yeah, and great streamer as well. So do check his streams out when you can. But yeah, the last one I did is called Copper Rots, and this is a speculative biology piece. So I'm trying to make up specifically a fungus in this case that doesn't exist. So copper rots, or Xylaria electrophaga, is a newly described fungus that, through yet unknown means, appears to obtain energy directly from electricity. That's what it looks like. Made this by combining a bunch of different images of the same fungus on Photoshop. Actually repeated the same one a bunch of times, but it's not noticeable. The adaptation, believed to have recently evolved from a wood-boring mushroom that fed on utility poles, lets this species enter cables through exposed metal, then grow outwards. This not only damages infrastructure, but often ends in a fire, which it uses to disperse its spores further. If encountering copper rot, it is not advised to touch it, as its white tips can conduct enough energy to cause electrocutions. So yeah, it grows in your cables. If you touch it, you die. So good luck. And just masking today. I mean, I gotta check out that mask you did. Or you're working on. But yeah, this is part of my collection I call the Bestiary, which is just has a bunch of speculative biology. I'll leave that for you guys to read. The link is in the chat, a little bit further up. Yeah, it's just there in the chat on the last few messages. And what we're making today is a bit of medical horror. So I'm just kind of sketching on top of a picture right now because I'm trying to figure out the look. But the idea is that, you know how our bodies are full of microplastics? Well, imagine if all these macroplastics, they started meeting in the blood or the tissues where they end up. And every time they met, through some chemical reaction, they stuck together. They started polymerizing. And as they do, the tiny, tiny microscopic bits of plastics that are floating all around you start fusing and fusing into larger pieces of plastic that eventually, you know, they kind of form this cone shape as they do. Like a small thing gets pushed up, more gets added, more gets added, more gets added. Kind of creates this cone-like structure that can have like several branches if there's a few of them that fuse. Eventually, this pokes out of the skin if it's near the skin and the soft tissues. It pokes out into your tissues, into your lungs, into your blood vessels. It can cause all sorts of mayhem, right? As it develops. But we want to show the more aesthetic part of it, which would be on the skin. Thinks I hate it. Then I'm doing my job well. So yeah, and as I did, people were banning my Photoshop tools. So I'm trying to find good ways around that. Need to break for a walk soon. That sounds good, Maxwell. Keep it up, Winnie. It's one of those few contexts where thanks I hate it is a legitimate compliment. Yeah, that is a compliment to me. So yeah, the tools that have been banned right now are the lasso tool, so you know, this, and the puppet warp tool, which is a tool that does, just doing it for demonstration purposes, don't worry, I'll Control Z. But it's a tool that lets you like do this to things, and while the lasso tool is, you know, you can substitute that for things like marquee, which may be annoying because you might have to like do this to get tight selection. Puppet Warp has no good alternative. So Val has previously stated that Control C would count as a Photoshop tool to ban if you're evil enough.
Val, you realize that making you pull silly stuff like using the marquee tool roundaboutly is part of the torture, right?
I know. You love seeing me struggle. So yeah, I'm thinking these bits of plastic are sort of patchwork, like different colors as like, you know, each all the microplastics start accumulating. They would, you know, they would not respect a color hierarchy, right? They would just pop out anywhere, so it would create this very patchy look. Realistically, it would probably be like little dots of every color, right? Because every bit of microplastic that joins in probably would have its own color, so we'd get something even grainier. But I think just for the look of this, we're gonna go with bigger patches. That reminds me, Val, do you have an option to give you back your tools? No, the tools are gone until the end of the stream. Sora has enough points to make me close Photoshop 3 times. Also, when is this giveaway popping up? Is the merch train broken? I don't know. Let's give it a few minutes to pop in, but hopefully this giveaway appears. Hey, Magnolia. It's the most physically blood-crawling idea you came up with. Thank you, and I will do worse. If you wanted, there was a limit on how many times a person could ban Photoshop tools. You could make it impossible for him to use. You could. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking for the look. I think we should have a couple of big spikes with a few smaller ones, right? Ones that are just like coming out of the skin, that are like a little pointier, a little less pointy. Different colors, less of a patchwork because we're only getting little tips. But yeah, just to make it clear that this is like really extended just throughout the whole body. Yeah, you could force a just chatting stream. I think at that point I would just start playing a game. It would just turn into a gaming stream. if you make it impossible to use Photoshop. So if you want a gaming stream, you could force it at any time, Sora. I think it might only be Sora who's powerful enough to do this. You're at 90K? Damn. You got a lot of them too. Okay, so we got a general idea. I'm not gonna go too detailed into the sketch, because I think the next thing would be to look for something with a plastic texture that we can use. I'm trying to think of a good plastic that could be used for this. Like it should be like maybe molten plastic, something that feels like organic, not too shiny, a bit twisty perhaps. So I think molten plastic might be the ideal, but we'll see how many. Let's just search here, molten plastic. We got whatever this is. What is that? I mean, that definitely feels like melty plastic. So it is the right vibe. Also, it's all white, which will make it fairly easy to use. So that's definitely one of the textures that would work well here. That said, that might be the only actual result for molten plastic across 3 websites that this crawls. Yeah. Let's go to Wikimedia. So we go in Wikimedia, we're searching for molten plastic, and we're getting little like recycled plastic beads. What are these blue ones? Is Wikimedia just being weird today? I think it's just not loading a bunch of images. That is annoying, if that's the case. Let me reload this whole search. Can they pop out of the inside and pop through organs and stuff? Absolutely they can. What the hell was that? Was what? Yeah, I wonder what's up with these pictures. Oh, they might just be blue, actually. Because there's a lot of like plastic textures that are probably used in some article about 3D models. So nothing too useful for us. Nothing too molten though. Let's look for microplastic. See what kind of images we get. What is that? Angel hair microplastics. Okay. I guess those are just like very fibrous plastics. Separate images of crushed Legos. Was it very sincere? They absolutely can, like it's a real event. I mean, it just makes sense. If they would prop through the outside, they would prop through the inside as well. Just makes sense. Just makes sense. Also, hold on. Stop the stream. These are called nurdles? With a U? I guess so. Yeah, plastic pellets are called nurdles. Imagine going broke because you had to make an emergency surgery. So it's a chunk of plastic in your lung. Oh, absolutely. Nurdles. That's a great word. Okay, not a lot of pictures of macroplastics.
Nurdles sound like some candy they market to kids specifically.
I would. Let's see what these websites have for microplastics. A lot of little beads on the beach. So we could get individual beads. We could get like... See, this is why I'm looking for microplastics, even though we're going to combine a bunch of them, is that they have... Since you usually find them in the water, they will usually be quite eroded, which gives them pretty nice, more organic textures, I guess. So that's definitely something we can use in our advantage here.
Just a reminder, Val, because you have that limit on how many tools you can bump per stream, I am left with 50k. Will you say it in the future? Will you save a for 100k and make you close Photoshop without saving again? Time will tell.
Oh my god, the TTS voice is very menacing when you do that. You do that point between every word. That's scary. I'm more scared of TTS guy than you, Lila. So yeah, about that giveaway, what's up with it? I think like the merch train might be broken since it's still in beta, but it's supposed to be enabled, right? Yeah, cue all giveaways to redeem at the end of the train instead of immediately. It says, do not change this setting when merch train is running as it may cause unexpected behavior. Well, I have no idea why the merch train thing did not pop up. It's supposed to be 10 minutes after each purchase. I think it's definitely been 10 minutes since the last one. Let me check real quick. Without showing you, because I don't want to... Switch gifts. Okay, there was only one gift, so I think like it was just. I guess this fourth wall got really confused. I think this is just a thing in beta, so it counted like one giveaway as two. I guess. I'm not really sure. The thing is, like, we're not missing any giveaways. That happens. That's what I'm getting.
Espada de Damocles.
I love that. We can't really hear you when you turn your head away from the mic like Tay's on day. Oh, that's true. That's because this mic is very directional. Maybe I should put it like closer, like under me like this. So yeah, I still have to figure out a lot of stuff about this mic. It's very new to me. Yeah, maybe I'll just put it under me like so. Hopefully that reads all right. Yeah. And now if I turn around, it's still in the yellow. So it's still, even if I'm looking at that screen like I was before, it should hopefully still be easy to hear. I need to sing Chocolate Rain. I don't have that kind of voice. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was just saying, I was checking with Fourth Wall for the giveaway thing, because it popped up like as if there were a second giveaway. I think that second one was just the site getting confused, because there's actually, like, I just checked in the Twitch gifts like section of the site, and there's only the one that Lilith did. So I think since that merch train thing is in beta, it messed up. So don't worry, we haven't missed we haven't missed any giveaways. What I will do is just turn off the merch train thing, since it seems to be buggy and it seems to be telling us there's giveaways that don't exist. At least we figured it out. Yeah, if you still really want that Shipetotech t-shirt, it's still gonna be 20% off for, I think, at least at the end, to the end of the stream, to celebrate the end of the Shipetotech series. And I guess we got new folks. Shipetotech is, if you go to collections here on my website, is a little story about this flesh planet taking over Earth. So I'll let you read that for yourself. It's pretty simple though. Flesh planet pops in, it gets very close to the Earth, drops a bunch of seeds of itself on Earth that start growing and growing and taking over all organic matter, until eventually they take over the entirety of the Earth. And we have this Horrors from Outer Space kind of old school movie poster style design. A bunch of little references back here. And it's 20% off to celebrate how the series is over. There's also a signature here on the left sleeve. Anyway, back to it. Thanks, Magnolia. All right, so can't use lasso tool, so I will use the object selection tool to select little bits of plastic to start from. So let's find some good ones. I like this sort of spiky one. Maybe if we separate it in little bits. I like this green one. And this is not a lasso tool, by the way. As you can see, this is object selection tool, even if it acts like a lasso. So no technicalities. Okay, so it's a couple of good ones here. Getting sad puppy eyes. Oh, have a good walk, Mectal. Take care of the doggy. I'll see you later. Don't worry, I will not cheat. Okay, my hand hovered. I was gonna cut this out. So my hand hovered over the lasso tool very briefly. I did not use it. This is the object selection tool. I'm gonna just insist on it until it selects what I want, because I can't manually edit it very well.
I like how you are giving me more ammo for the future.
I shouldn't suggest tools for you to ban. I mean, if you want a really long stream, you can ban object selection. Then you'd force me to select things as I used to do for many years. before object selection was a thing, which would just be manually using layer masks and the brush and lasso and I used to use mostly the brush actually to select. Like I would just make a layer mask and I would mask the object out with the brush, then invert it. That's the way. It's the way it used to go in the olden times, and it was one of the longest parts of doing Photoshop edits. Did I already get this one? Not sure actually. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm selecting the curled up and jagged pieces of plastic, because those will be the best bases, I think. A lot of them are blue. I guess blue is going to be our base color. Kind of makes sense. Like, I think blue is one of the most common plastic colors you'll see, right? I'm saying this without any proof of it, but it feels like that's true. Snakes, welcome back from the worms. I'm hydrated, I am. I was just drinking water right before you came in. Patches, welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, the fungus post did like crazy numbers on Twitter. It's like the first time in years that I got those numbers on Twitter. Ever since they started like messing with the algorithm, I think generally like lately the algorithm has just been very disfavorable to like larger accounts. So I grew my account on Twitter when it was good to have a big account, and then suddenly became bad to have a big account, which is just strange. But yeah, I guess just once every year, like once a year or so, maybe you'll get a post that does okay. Kind of wild. Ban the stock image bar. I guess you could ban this too, but that's just like an easier way of searching through 3 websites. So I could just search through those websites. Blue is more interesting than black for macroplastics. Thanks, Patches. Look at this bit of clear plastic. Oh, wrong layer. There we go. Okay, so you see all these layers? That's all these, let's hide this one away. That's all the bits of plastic I just picked up. All the litter. So, how about we take a pretty decent one. And oh, there's also these two. So I'm going to put it on top. Okay. Let's find a nice one to start with. I like this one. It's just pretty jagged. Welcome back, Bill. The plastic collection is growing. My yummy treats. Okay. Oh, damn. You guys have made my work so much harder right now. Because I would have to puppet warp all these things. But I guess I'll have to just regular warp, which is a lot less customizable. It might be fine for most of these, but yeah, you guys are slowing down my work. How dare you use a feature that I put in to the stream?
I keep looking at my Lego collection and wonder what this put mean for me.
You probably have a higher than standard amount of macroplastics in your blood. That's what that means. Probably. Will Nidhogg ever come back in some form? I don't really have a lot more to say about Nidhogg.
Damn you, Lego. No, I'm going to be a minifig.
Okay, this one's kind of boring color, so I don't know, I might saturate it or paint it. I do like the shape of it. So let's add a little warp and also a little bit of stretching. I guess this is how people used to do before puppet warp. I'm just using Photoshop like the olden days. I honestly don't even know how long puppet warp has been on Photoshop. So maybe it's not even an olden days thing. It's been around forever. I think it definitely was in when I started using Photoshop. Like, I don't really remember a time in Photoshop before Puppet Warp. I mean, there's one before I knew about it. I remember finding out about it and being like, oh, that's like magic. That's like straight up magic to me. Wasn't a thing before you stopped using it. That was CS3. Okay. So it's not as old as I thought. Still not a super new thing. It's definitely older than object selection. I think object selection is the last good tool that they ever added to Photoshop. Imagine the potential for human harvesting. You're recycling by prying out the pieces of plastic growing out of others. Very, very visceral recycling, yeah. What if one of the plastics chunks grows against a major vessel and just gives you a stroke? Yes, that's probably how you die. Either that or your heart. Or your aorta. I feel like if this pokes through your aorta, you're just dead. Because bleeding aorta, you're very likely to die anyway. It's pretty much worst case scenario. So yeah, if one pokes through, you're toast.
I was gonna say, isn't an aortic bleed all but guaranteed way to meet the maker?
Pretty much, pretty much. That little piece that looks like an airplane. It's cute. So yeah, I kind of like this texture. Obviously, it's very flat now, so we're gonna have to make it look 3D. But I like these textures so far because it's clearly plastic, but it's very jagged. It's broken up. It's twisted. I think that's the right vibe. Yummy Macroplastics. Welcome, Christopher. I got Kitty. Hold on. I think since the camera is refusing to stay where I want it to, I could just move the cat. Okay, it's coming together. I nearly used lasso tool again. Got to be careful with that. Come on, I need to get object selection tool to collaborate with me on a really annoying bit. Come on, object selection. Come on, you nearly got it. Come on, you got this. Oh, it doesn't want to select the whole bit. Like 40% nerdles right now. Eating your pet macroplastic. Have we come up with a name for the ancient god, for the ancient whole god series? We may never know. It's literally blanked out. The name of the series. God, I nearly used lasso again. I could just brush. I should just brush this away. Yeah, the whole bit is that they scratched out of the name of this god in the city. Like all mentions of it. So we might never even know. Also, if I come up with a name, it's probably not going to be suggested by chat. It's gonna be suggested by Brad the archaeologist. or some of his friends who know ancient Assyrian. Definitely either of those. Krita crashed. Didn't save any progress. Ah, I'm sorry, snakes. That stings. I know the sting of a bad crash with no file recovery. I sympathize. Honestly, have you guys been watching Brad's videos after the stream? Have any of you guys watched it? He is great. He is real life Indiana Jones. I love his stuff. Hey Bean. Chat. Check out this boy. Observe him in all of his glory. Look. Look at him. Yes. He is so amazing. Hold on, let's get this mic. Let's get this mic on here. Let's get Bean talking. Let's hear those purrs. Let me see. Is my filter off? Yeah. So you might hear noise, a lot more background noise now, but you might also hear this little kitty. Is that right? He's starting to purr. There you go. Listen. Can you hear it? Can you hear the purrs? This is Bean ASMR. I'm sorry, the mic is right in front of the camera, but it is the best way of getting those purrs. Isn't that right, Bean? Thank you for the beautiful noises, Bean. He has a lot more to say. He's like pointing his head at the mic. That's really funny. He's very happy right now. This was an unexpected attack on my part. He is performing, yes. He loves the limelight. Oh, kisses, kisses. Yes. Yes, you want every finger? Okay. Sometimes he wants to kiss every finger. Oh, every finger. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 5. Yes. We have a clip command, but you might need to use it on its own. I don't know. Oh. Oh no, they do it. Okay, you can just use clip and something else. And it just names the clip. Yes. Oh, he just lied down in a bed. Oh, chat. Look at how he put his little arm over me. Chat. I love him so much. You're like the sweetest boy in the world. Do you know that? Yeah. You do know. You do know. Do you have anything to say? Anything else to say to chat? I love how it looks like a Bean podcast right now, with a big old mic in front of him. Oh. Hold on, the mic is sort of resisting. Yeah. You got anything to say to chat, Bean? Ooh, leg stretch. Okay, softer purrs now. This is the Bean stream right now. He has fully taken over. Because, like, okay, legally, right now, as you can see, I cannot move my arm. Because he is holding it. And we do not want to disappoint the boy. Look at him. Look at him. He's still purring into the mic. Oh, baby. I would murder for this boy, yes. I would kill and I would die for him. Isn't that right, Bean? You know that, don't you? Distressed noises. Oh, big yawn. Are you comfy there, Bean? He loves doing this. Like, when he's really cuddly, he'll just, like, at any, like, at... Oh. at any cost, he will have to like hold me or put his arm over me or just like be as close as he can to me, which is so cute. And when I'm sleeping, he'll just do that on the hold on. He'll just sit on the pillow next to me and smother my face. Ooh, big yawn. Yes, the world. This is the cat that will heal the world. Look at him. He might be the only one able to nowadays. let me put the bag back to normal and turn on the noise filters, just so we don't get a bunch of background noise. Put on the music. Okay. Little bean distraction, but worth it, I hope. I got my face is full of bean hair, and since my hand is also probably full of bean hair, every time I try to get it off my face, I just put more hair on it. Do you think Bean deserves a treat for that? Yeah, he does. Bean? Look, you're gonna get a treat. Ooh, one of the big ones. Don't let it fall. He's slobbering all over my tablet. Oh, he's licking it now. He's licking. Thank you for getting rid of the slobber by licking it. And thus just spreading it about. Here, you can have another one. One of the small ones, Bean. I don't have that many treats left. But here. But I need to go get him some new food, and I usually buy it like in bulk in a really big pack with litter box sand. The kind of silicone one, whatever the one is that looks like little plastic beads. It's not plastic. It's like silica or something. Like oversized silica beads or little crystals, I guess. That you need to change a lot less. So go to a specific pet store for that. I don't need to get there anyway, so he can have a bunch of treats. So I can finish this pack. He can and should have a bunch of treats. He's enjoying this, I think. Look at him. He's just zoning out right now. Oh yeah. Let's do the secret spot. Secret spot. Secret spot. Secret spot. Oh, it's not working. Secret spot is not working. Come on, secret spot. Raise your ass. He's not raising his ass. Chat. The secret spot is not working today. The secret spot is just not working. Oh. Yes! Raise your ass. Don't show it to the camera, though. Okay, there he goes. Oh, this camera, like... Wait, let me put it. Someplace.
Elevator button broke temporarily lol.
Oh no! Did you get stuck? We can get a super close up of Bean. Oops. Hold on. It doesn't have to be that much of a close up. It just, I got this camera really zoomed in. Okay. There he is.
Imentis adorable booty. In my house, we always call the secret spot by a cat's tail the elevator button cause it always called the asapaha.
Okay. Elevator button. I had not heard that explanation. I was taking it very literally. I like that. I like that. I just call it the magic spot. It's like a little magic trick. You boop him there, and he just raises his ass up. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Camera has been set up. And, oh, this is also super zoomed in. Hold on.
Stuck in a couple of elevators for various reasons.
No. This should be it. Okay, get a little bit more beaten in that shot. The camera is really close to him, but I figured it would be a better spot since there's no this in the middle. Being over the shoulder view, exactly. Like a third-person game. Okay, so let us continue. By the way, something you might have noticed in Sabine doing this. Have you seen how he's like destroying his bed? Like, okay. He's trying to cover up the evidence with his hands. You see this? You see this? Get your ear out. You see this? It's just like he's just destroying the fiber. All the fluffy bits. You can see it here. Destroying all the fluffy bits in his own bed. Don't eat it. Don't eat it, dude. That's fluff. But yeah, I keep finding like bits of fluff that he tears away. I think eventually he'll just like peel the whole inside of the bed because he's just constantly kneading it. And I'm fine with that. At least hopefully at that point we won't get any more fluff like all across the room. Either that or he'll just like tear apart and I'll need to find a new bed. Which thankfully it wasn't super expensive, so it's not the end of the world. Ain't that right, Bean? He craves the fiber. But he can do no wrong, so it's fine. He's a perfect little man. Also, bean hairs are getting into my mouth. That's annoying. I think I took care of it. Okay, we got this orange bit. The good thing is like we can just hue shift any of these bits of plastic. So we can reuse them in different ways. And at this point, I will get rid of the sketch. Or at least cover out this bit of the sketch. There we go. That way we only see the plastic. In cat hair just comes with the territory. Yeah, it's absolutely, it's an expected outcome, and I do not mind it at all. Okay, so the light in this photo, in the background, is coming from the top. It's pretty soft because we can still see the fingers like in the shadow are still pretty visible, so it's not super hard light. Yeah, it's definitely coming from the top and a little bit to the left, since we can see the fingers cast a shadow here. Right. Okay. Bean hair. Caught another one, I think. Oh, see you, Johnny. Have a good sleep. It would have come out of the skin very painfully and messy. Yep. It'd be like the worst zit in your life. Okay, and we can move this around. Find the best spot for it. Because it's definitely going a bit sideways, right? Could also be like poking down, since this one is going to poke up. We will organize the exact position later, I think. And I will keep it away from the actual zits in this person's face, because I do want to keep those. I think they add just a little bit of je ne sais quoi. So we're going to add a bit of shadow beneath. Oh, maybe in soft light. It's a thorn shape. Are you thinking it's a fish shape? No, because this is the part. This is the bit that's coming out of the skin. So it's going in this direction, left to right. It does kind of look like a little shark, though. If you look at it the other way, that's kind of cute. Okay, so the bit that comes out of the skin, I think maybe should be a little softer. Not super soft, but... Okay, and then beneath, since we do have this pre-existing, a nicely placed zit, what we can do is use that as a base to create a redder exit for this. Microplastics go out of your face isn't all that bad. Yeah, you get a little fish figurine. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind fish figurine that your own face crafted. Does not get much rarer than that. So we now make it look like it's poking out of the skin, which will also include adding a bit of highlight above it to make it look like the skin is raised. So we do a bit of that, and hopefully hopefully gets to a point where it feels like it's really poking out. Now I am thinking, yeah, if it's supposed to be a cone, the base can't be narrower than this bit here, which is sort of the thicker bit. So the thicker area should be the base itself. And it should only get thinner from there. I think I mentioned this before, but we are losing a little bit of realism by making all the individual chunks so big. Because I think realistically it would just be like little bits of tiny sand that's multicolored, and it would end up being like this brownish thing that doesn't have much color. Oh, have a good lurk, Ned. Your art did end up having had saved. Oh. I am glad. That's quite the save. Glad you managed to get it back. See, it's all thanks to the power of Bean. Look at him. He made it happen. That is undeniable. You just need to take one look at him to know that he has those sorts of powers. Okay. That's one nice bit of plastic. That's sort of the vibe we're going to go for. So let's continue with another one. We're going to follow this shape approximately. Doesn't have to be exact, just like before. Okay, we're going to call this here Spike 1. We're definitely going to copy some of the textures from Spike 1 into Spike 2, since we do want them to look similar. Let's use this green or aquamarine bit here, like somewhere in the middle. And since I can't puppet warp today, we're just going to more or less fit it to the shape, and then we'll start adding on top of that. That's going to be our base. Also, honestly, thinking about this one, I don't have a good place to put the little plane-shaped one. Unless I just keep it on its own. What is it? Layer 3? Layer 4. Oh wait, this goes in Spike. There we go. Layer 4. I could see it as like maybe poking out on its own. So let's say I take this and then do that with a little bit of this here. And yeah, we can use like several bits of the little plane shaped figure to create a few like smaller spikes. Like one here right at the edge. Or maybe not the edge, since that's going to be very blurry, but could be somewhere around here. Okay, let's continue with our big old spike. So I'm going to find the textures we didn't use yet. We're going to place these approximately where we need to. I'm going to more or less size them up correctly. This one I'm putting at the bottom because it's already pretty dark. So I'm putting it in an area that's also going to be naturally dark, so we don't have to do as much color editing after. Trying to be smart about this. This plastic seems to have maybe some kind of print on it, but I don't think that's going to be super noticeable. Or at least, so I hope. We'll see. We're also going to need differently colored bits of plastic. So it's something we'll go out and find. Probably in the images we already got. Or in the other spikes, since we do have some pretty nice orange bits there. And we got a couple more. This one will make for a perfect end spike, but it is a little thick. So we're going to do this. We're going to do a bit of that. Perfect. And then we're going to warp it the good old-fashioned way. There we go. Taking shape. Now we got the final bit of plastic that we cut out. And we find a spot for it. You found weird ad for what you think is AI software. Posted a photo in general. I mean, it's called Ming LLM, so that is definitely an ad for an AI thing. That's a creepy creature on it, though. I do not like Rocky. All these pictures. Bean looks like he does not want to be there at this moment. Oh, I love him so. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for this bit. Turn it into an accessory spike. Oh man, puppet warp would be great right about now. It's fine, it's fine. I'm not coping. I'm not coping. Are they calling Gen AI by its real name? Which real name? You mean LLM? LLM is only one type of Gen AI, unless you mean something different.
Baiko uping clip 1.
I am not coping right now, chat. Okay, let's find little bitsies of different colored plastic. As always, the good thing is we could just hue shift the existing ones. So it's not the worst of issues. This green one is looking pretty nice. Oh, I always keep selecting in the wrong layer. There's this red one there. It's kind of dark though. Pretty nice green one down here. I might have used this one already actually. So let's choose new ones. Since we do have plenty. Okay, that gives us a few new things to continue. You find it funny to see them use LLM in the username. When people years ago discussed and swear that AI is bigger than LLM. Sure, keep telling yourself that. I mean, their LLM is only the text generating part of it. So, really, Oh, I nearly used Puppet Warp. I didn't though. I opened up the Puppet Warp menu. Fuck. Damn it. Nearly failed there. And I lost my train of thought. I was saying something LLMs. Would ripping these out be painful or therapeutic? So the thing is, like, the biggest part of this is sort of an iceberg, right? Like the biggest part is still inside the skin. So if you rip it out, you're ripping out a bunch of tissues with it. Do you think I should try and redo the Mold Man horror short? I mean, that's up to you, Bill. I would not want to decide your creative endeavors for you. I mean, AI is a catch-all term that's a bit too large. Gen AI includes images, so AI is a bit too large. Gen AI is generative AI, so it's anything that generates images, text, video, music. The music ones are just image generators, but they just like generate. If you've ever seen like the waveform for a song, right, where you see it physically as an image, that's what they are. Like music generators are just trained on waveforms, and they just generate waveforms, but they really are image generators, which is an interesting thing. But yeah, it's anything that generates stuff, which is completely different architectures for each of them. So it's still very broad and catch-all. Yeah, technically it's been a thing since the 50s. Oh yeah, it's just very broad. I prefer to use, if you want something very broad and catch-all, machine learning makes more sense, because machine learning is it's like the field of study, right? It's just, and it's applicable to anything from generative LLM models or image generators or all those things, to the one that folds proteins that's been really useful for science, or the one that selects things on Photoshop. This tool I was using a minute ago. It is machine learning, right? It's not generative AI. So I think that's the good distinction to make for practical use in saying like this is mostly all right, and this is very creatively bankrupt. Is like generally machine learning. It includes everything, but has the good stuff in it, while generative AI includes mostly just the bad stuff. It's very generalizing, but hopefully you get what I mean. AI has made it so hard to find free to use background music. Oh, I bet. I haven't looked through that sort of thing since I played D&D years ago. I bet that would be extremely annoying right now. AI's LLMs, other generative AI, image, video, 3D model. I guess 3D models, the 3D model ones would probably be a different structure from the image ones. Code generators, that's just an LLM. That's just an LLM that's trained in code. Plus detector AI, which can be used for different reasons. There are other types of AI neural networks, like automatically rigged models, design circuits, simulation. Yeah, all the simulation ones are technically machine learning as well. This is a very different architecture, right? You're sort of letting a computer teach itself with trial and error how to do a very specific thing. There is a YouTuber that I really like. Have you ever heard of the game Trackmania? It's a classic like time trial driving game that just has like a handful of maps that people like are like insanely dedicated to speedrunning. This game is like more than a decade old. It's Trackmania Nations, which is the one that most people play, is I think is at least 15 years old. It runs on a potato, and yeah, it's been like broken down to its bare essentials by speedrunners because there are really short tracks that are extremely optimized, right? And there's this one guy on YouTube, I forget the name, but I'll find it, who creates like these simulation machine learning things, right? Well, you could call AIs, but we're probably not called AIs just a few years ago, but basically makes the computer do a run of this map with completely random controls, and then it'll do this 100 times, then get the best of those results, and do 100 more variations on that, then this over and over and over until this thing learns to do tracks like better than some of the best speedrunners. And you can still see it takes a lot of work. It seems very finicky to train these things. And it's just a very interesting process, and it's very beautifully visualized. Let me see if I can find these videos. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, this guy has like 10 million views. Pretty absurd. Hold on. I'll drop a link in the chat. Really recommend these videos. Quite fun. The like code generators that I use, I care about the least when compared to AI art. There's a large amount of people who will look past shitty AI art. Not as many people will look past shitty AI code. You can feel when code is bad. On some cases, yeah. In some others, it's hidden enough that it only breaks when, a database gets hacked. I think AI generated code is a huge danger to society right now. It's definitely going to cause some really bad data breaches. If it's not causing them already, and we haven't seen them like super well reported, because companies tend to be secretive about these things. But yeah, it's gonna be bad. It is already bad. If you've used Blue Sky in the last handful of weeks, they have all of their top engineers started vibe coding. And they have self-admittedly 90% or 99% of their code is generated by Claude, which is the Anthropic LLM. And the site has been extremely buggy, and everybody could tell. Everybody could tell they switched to AI code. If you noticed that Blue Sky was down a few weeks ago, or was it, I think like a couple weeks ago or so, it went down for a few hours. Then Blue Sky came out and said, sorry, we were being DDoSed. DDoS is like deniable service attacks. It's when a bunch of people get together, or a big server gets together and starts like attacking a website with a bunch of requests, essentially overloading the servers and making it unusable for everybody else. They said they were getting DDoSed by other people. But then people looked into it, and it's pretty likely that they just made a shitty vibe-coded thing that DDoSed themselves, or DOSed themselves. by making like every single request that people was making to the servers, like multiply by 100 or something ridiculous like that. So it like instantly overloaded their own servers. It's so stupid. I don't know. I'm just like talking about this secondhand. They're actual engineers who explained it a lot better when it happened, but it was so funny. That's why something felt off. Yeah. One of the main engineers on Blue Sky, who I just learned the other day is married to the founder, to Jay, who used to be the CEO. I think she stepped down now. The Waffles girl, that one. Very bad public communication, unfortunately. Well, apparently this guy, he loves yapping on his Blue Sky account, and he self-admittedly, he told the story about how his phone got overheated, so he dropped it into the pool to cool it down, which everybody made fun of him for that. So if you've heard that story, that's the guy. That's like one of the main engineers at Blue Sky who's constantly talking about AI. He's like an AI freak. And the other day, like people were laughing about him because he's quite a character. Laughing at him, I guess. And so I check his accounts because apparently he had broken a lot of Blue Sky because he was so mad at people laughing at him because of his AI views that he subscribed to a block list of anti-AI people that included hundreds of thousands of accounts. And apparently, by subscribing to this block list, he broke a lot of function because he's like his account makes some of the main like feeds on Blue Sky. So he broke those feeds for all of those people, and he had to unsubscribe, but he's still blocking a lot of people personally, right? And I check his Blue Sky account, and I see his last post is saying something like, I'm letting this AI, like LLM, look at all my notifications right now, kind of like as a brag. And I replied to that, hey Claude, can you please block me? And I got blocked instantly. It was so funny. He was automating blocking people. That's how much of a loser this guy is. It actually worked. Like I just replied to something saying, Claude, please block me, or something like that. Please put me in the cool kids club, and instant block. Very funny. So I am now officially blocked by one of Blue Sky's chief AI vibe coder, which is a badge I will carry with honor. Oh, absolute loser. Who, let's not forget, threw his phone into the pool to cool it down. Also, hi Maxel, sorry I was yapping. I've been good about my tool usage. I once did the shortcut for Puppet Warp, and it's not working right now. But I did the shortcut for Puppet Warp, and I realized really quickly, like, oh shit, I can't use this, and I stopped myself. So you should be proud of me. Generally considering checking out Tumblr. Honestly, I mean, Tumblr mods or Tumblr devs are also like extremely out of touch with their own website. So I would say at this point, there is no good place online. They're all gone. Maybe they were never even there. if you really think about it. But there's no good place online. They're all owned by oligarchs, tech bros, people who don't understand their own audiences, and so at this point, just choose the ones you like. Don't stick with any of them too hard, because everything in shitifies. But yeah, there's no there's no ethical consumption under capitalism or whatever. Because like what are our social media options? I'm talking especially like, I mean, both for a working artist. So like talking about my case, and just like a regular user, like many of you guys who just use it to browse and stuff. What are the options? So you got meta platforms. So, you know, Instagram, I guess some people still use Facebook for whatever reason. But Instagram is the biggest one at this moment, right? So you got Instagram, which has an absolutely blasted evil algorithm. If you're in the content creator side, I hate that word, but if you're making contents, you are basically at the whims of this horrible company who basically wants you to work for it as a full-time job if you want to appear in the algorithm at all. So really bad on that end. On the user end, the algorithms are also there, but attacking you because you're constantly bombarded. Instead of like using it to check out maybe artists you like, your friends, you know, people you enjoy like following up on, you're constantly just getting recommended stuff by people you don't follow, right? They want to be an algorithmic social media like TikTok. So you're kind of screwed because you can't see what you signed up to see. And all the other stuff is just like mindlessly scrolling reels, which is just made to be addicting and a complete waste of time. So we're kind of fucked. Okay, let's check out our other options. What do you got? Oh, Twitter's still around, right? It's owned by pedophile in chief Elon Musk and his like goons and all the Nazis that think it's a safe space. Or I guess it is really a safe space for them. Kind of the worst people ever. There's still some okay people using Twitter. I won't shame you if you use it. But it is turned into kind of a dead mall and kind of a horrible place with their horrible grok chatbot. Oh my god. The post I made today with the the copper rot, the electric fungus, did really well on Twitter, as I mentioned before, which hadn't happened in years. I got at least 5 different people doing the grok, is this true? Thankfully, I checked the grok response on all of those, and they were, in each case, grok got enough of the context to at least tell them it wasn't true. So at least they didn't come out of that believing it was true. But I blocked all of them anyway, so who cares? If anybody calls grok under my post, I will block them. But yeah, so you got a nasty website, you got horrible algorithm website. Let's check out the non-algorithm websites that have good people on them. So you got Blue Sky. It's kind of mini Twitter. It's a lot more niche, so there's a lot less people. If you're on the artist side, on the content creator side, you are reaching just a lot less people in general. You know, you can still reach a good handful of people. You can still have posts that do well, bring you work, etc. But it's definitely like a much tighter audience than what you'd get on other places. You also do get like a lot more professionals are there. So if you're an artist looking for, you know, clients, good place for that. But it's owned by tech bros who keep breaking the websites and love AI. So eventually it's going to shitify. Also, It is funded by venture capital. That's why Blue Sky is free. That's why it has no ads. Currently funded by venture capital. Eventually, venture capital is going to be like, hey, so how do we make money out of this? And that's where shit is going to start to shitify, as usual. As is happening to Discord right now, right? Talking about Discord, yeah, owned by tech bros who are actively shitifying it because they want to put it on the stock market. What do we have left? Tumblr. Tumblr is a great place, very niche, just like Blue Sky. A lot less people, but things can still do massive numbers on Tumblr just because of how the culture on the website is and how like people reblog a lot more. So you can still have like a lot of eyes on your work if you're an artist, but it's also like pretty niche, very fandom focused. So if you're outside of a fandom space, if you don't have your own like group of people like following you from the start, it's really, really hard because there's no algorithm. It's really, really hard to, or there's very little algorithm, to really hard to break out into like actually having people see your work. So for most people as artists, the experience will be like screaming out into the void, not getting a response. As a user, Tumblr's fine. Tumblr's pretty great. The owners are kind of assholes as well, though. So you get no wins. You get no wins. I'm sorry for the rant, but I'm just driving the point home that there's no good social media right now. It sucks. We're all going to DeviantArt. Yeah. Don't forget random shadow bans on creators and topics. The birth specialist you follow who did some commentary on Ice and despite having really good numbers, that one mysteriously wasn't showing up for anybody. Yeah, absolutely. You get algorithms silencing things that they don't want people to talk about. So, especially with contentious topics, political things, you are at the mercy of whatever the owner thinks you should and should not talk about. DeviantArt, yeah. Jokes aside with DeviantArt, it sucks now. It's empty and also it's full of AI. They're pushing Grok Gen AI so hard, half of the ads I get on Twitter are from Musk's own shitty companies. Yeah, but that's because nobody wants to advertise on the Nazi website. They're making no money. I think Twitter and Grok have just been money drains, but Elon has enough government. And so Twitter was such a money drain that Elon had XAI, which is this AI company, the one that made Grok, right? It's also his own company. He's just shuffling his own cards around, but he made XAI buy Twitter, so he could get rid of all the bad debts that all the banks had on Twitter. XAI obviously also not doing great. So what he did is had SpaceX, his space company, buy XAI, his AI company. Whatever was his explanation for this, he said, "Oh, because we're gonna make data centers in space," which is the most absurd fucking idea I've ever heard. Because on Earth, what's the problem with data centers? They get really hot. What happens in space? If you get hot, you got nowhere to dump that temperature. You're just gonna get hotter and hotter and hotter until everything melts. It's a stupid idea. And everybody knows that, but he just used it as a bad excuse to have his one valuable company right now, which is a space company, because it has a lot of government contracts, not because of anything else. His government contract company bought Twitter, bought XAI, which has Twitter. So Twitter is now owned by SpaceX. Yeah, the social media is part of a space company, and it's all being funded. All this bullshit, all the child porn generators on Grok are being funded by U.S. taxpayers, because all of this money is coming from the massive contracts that SpaceX gets, which are just mostly from the government. So it's insane. Pitch what? Yeah. I mean, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe SpaceX is mostly just government contracts. And all the cash that his AI bullshit is burning has to be coming from somewhere. So it has to come from his one profitable company, because Tesla is not making money right now. Puppy fell asleep and the first thing they heard is this. Gonna tell my dad that next time he says Elon is gonna get us to Mars. Oh no! Is your dad fully bought in? Sorry, I mean, I get so incensed. I forget I'm actually doing a Photoshop. This shit is infuriating though, right? Like, one of the things I do want to see before I die is to see Elon Musk get his comeuppance. I want to see him bankrupt. If it's the last thing I see before I die. Because I got a personal grudge with Musk. I got a personal grudge because my art career was built on Twitter. Thankfully, I got enough of my eggs out of that basket before it imploded. And thankfully, you know, I still got like clients that I found there that have still stuck with me. But he fucked with my wallet. He fucked with my wallet. He fucked with he gave me a lot of stress too. So I'm not forgiving him for that. Okay. This is getting together. It needs a little bit of a spike. Ultra-conservative influencer that is becoming a liberal because her aligned too far with seeing a deepfake porn made of herself. God. The world sucks in so many ways. You know, something that gives me to not be too doomerish about all of this. You know, one of the reasons I was late today. Today I had a meeting, a little talk organized by the local Illustrator collective or Illustrator association. Don't know how to translate that to English. But yeah, I've joined this Illustrator collective here in my region in Asturias. They're really nice. They're always doing projects. Really cool and fun people. And through that, I am joining. Wait, how does that work? Word transform is being applied to that. Oh, okay. Through that, I'm going to be joining the Spanish association that takes like a couple people from each of the local ones, and that get to do things like talk to the culture minister in Spain about how to regulate Gen AI or how to get like better economic conditions for artists and illustrators. So I'll hopefully be at the table at those sorts of things, and I'm excited about that because I've been complaining for years, and now I got a chance to actually do something and have some bit of collective action. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, it's illustrators in Spain. We're all like individual, independent workers for the most part, right? So we don't have a union. So this is the closest thing to like syndicalism that we can do. So it's good. What's my workaround for Puppet Warp? I've just been doing regular Warp. It's very limited though. Backrooms movie just in 1 month? How fast did they film that? Wads of chewed gum stuck together. I like that. Congrats about that. A lot of stream for that opportunity. It's not even an opportunity. Just go out there, find your local association, find your local group, and start talking to them. Start asking what you can do. I literally, like, this was not an opportunity planted on my feed. I was like, they needed people to go out and interface and talk to the Spanish association, right? Because I had just joined the one from Asturias, my local one, and they just needed people. I was like, I know I'm new, but can I just tag along? And they were like, yeah, sure. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I get to annoy the culture minister at his own face in the near future. I think that would be great. I think that would bring me great joy, because there's this law in Spain, this law project, which it's actually just a bunch of laws, a bunch of different measures, which is called El Estatuto del Artista. It's the artist statute. No, something like that, right? It's a series of measures meant to make the work of being an artist in Spain a lot less painful, remove red tape, kind of be realistic to our regular working conditions, which, you know, as independent workers or freelance workers, right, in Spain, you have to pay a monthly freelance worker fee, right, like monthly tax on that, which is one of our main taxes. The problem is a lot of us, and the tax is based on how much money you made last year. The problem is that a lot of our work is very intermittent. So you might get like a bunch of work for like 4 months out of the year, and then like no work for the rest. And you're supposed to let those, like, the money of those 4 months stretch. And you still have to pay this monthly fee that just keeps going, which makes things really hard. So we're looking to like exceptions for that fee, or ways to make it easier. And it's being worked on, but they've been yapping about how they're going to make this happen for years and years and years. Nothing is happening. And it's got every artist in Spain pulling their hair. And the other thing that I would like to scream at the culture minister about is AI protections, because they've been saying yes, AI should respect copyright, and even European law that passed that says AI should respect copyright, which is great. That's fantastic. Are they actually going to enforce that? Because they have not so far. They have said they passed a big AI act that says, oh yeah, generative AI has to respect copyright. And then they never looked into all the big Gen AI companies that are breaking copyright right now. Are they not going to enforce their own laws? Why are they even cooking? So yeah, another thing that got every artist in Spain completely desperate. I would love to annoy a politician to their face. I hope I get the opportunity. Maybe not this year since I just joined, but hopefully next year or so. I think that might be a bylaw. Statuto? No, because a bylaw is sort of a specific, like, secondary law, right? This is a series of measures. Like, the Estatuto del Artista is not a single law. It's a bunch of things, some of which have already been passed. A lot of them have not. But yeah, It feels like they're trying to run the clock, not doing shit about that, and the terrible housing crisis, and just waiting to pass the buck to the next government, because the next government is going to be, is like 99% going to be a terrible right-wing government, like really radical right-wing governments, which I'm not excited about. And they're definitely going to look at, oh, artists want protections? Fuck them. They're probably going to do that. So yeah, it feels like our left-wing government is just letting the clock run and waiting for us to just get fucked by the next government that comes. It's great. We love it here. I complain. I do love Spain. I think it's one of the best, if not the best place to live in the world. But then again, one of the most beautiful Spanish traditions is complaining about Spain, so we do love a good complaining session. So that's a statute? Okay, so it's Estatuto del Artista, it's artist statute. That's good. You're going to see Pando this summer. Oh, the big aspen tree? Like mega structure thing? That's good. Went there 2 years ago. Spain? How did you find it? Which area did you go to? Hope you went to the north. That's the coolest. I'm not biased because I'm from the north. The world's largest living organism. I have heard as much. Say hi to Pando for me. Put in a good word. Say I'm a big fan. Maybe. Oh, you are the most handsome man in the world. Dad is convinced that everyone overseas likes Trump because he's people on a trip to Germany did. He refused to accept the possibility that they just didn't want to argue with an American. I think pretty much everyone in Europe hates Trump, to the point where even the far right parties in Europe, I'm talking about the Spanish one, I think it's also been happening with like some of the Hungarian like elections, and other far right parties are actively distancing themselves from Trump because he is political poison. Everybody hates him in Europe. I'll tell them you said hi. I'll give them a printed photo of the bloodbark tree and tell them that's our edgy emo cousin. Yes, I love that. Go to bed, Sora. Sleep well. Bean has been disqualified for the running of largest organism because he does not have a measurable boundary. He does not fit in our measly concept of 3 dimensions, of course. Madrid, it's quite nice. Hope you saw the Prado Museum if you stuck around there. Sevilla is great. Pamplona, San Sebastián, Burgos, Barcelona. You saw quite a lot. It's really cool. Hold on. I accidentally got these tiny spikes into this group. Where are they? It's layer 4. Okay. There we go. So this spike, yeah, should now be only this. Okay, I'm considering... Oh, shit. Got a disconnected layer mask. There, that's better. Considering exactly where to put this, which direction should it take? Because I could also flip it. But it feels too similar to this one if I make it go down. I think maybe it should go a little... Okay, let's place this one here. Let's remove the sketch for now. Let's place spike 1 a bit further up. I'm trying to think about composition. I might also make them a little larger. Just so they're not like super tiny there in the frame of the entire picture. Okay, here's a possibility. So, in order not to make it too similar to this one, which is kind of going off to the side, I would like this one to pop out like towards the camera a little bit. So we don't quite see like the stem kind of go in, because we do see it in this one, so I think it's fine. So we can do something like this. We can make it a little more jagged. Right, that might be a little better. And then for this one, oh damn it, no puppet warp. Keep forgetting I can't. Discovered you through the Curious Archive video. Hell yeah. That one's brought so many new people in throughout the years. So honestly, big shout outs to Curious Archive. I think that video came out great. Recently finished that commission for some Discord emotes. Nice. That's great, C-Pop. Glad you're getting some work. Yeah, Curious Archive is a really good YouTuber. I really like what they do. Okay, so now hopefully this one feels like it's still going a bit off a little bit to the left, but hopefully it feels like it's coming towards the camera a little more. And just like before, I'm just trying to make these disconnected, these disjointed pieces of plastic to feel like one whole, one unified stem. Now we go underneath, and what I'm gonna do is first set up a little clone stamp, which I'm gonna use bits of zits to create like a reddened area around it. Oh, no lasso. Shit. I nearly used a lasso. I was so close there. If I used it and forgot, I would have to maybe go back like a bunch of steps and redo a lot of stuff. Pet sitting on the spicy kitty rich shot told your arm. Yes. Oh, snakes. See you. Have a good night. Remember to drink water? Thank you. I will. What time is it? Oh, it is getting fairly late. Been live for 3 hours. Okay, I think we can get this to a pretty advanced state. Maybe something where we can finish it tomorrow? Question mark? Hopefully. Oh, I'm excited. Tomorrow I got a ceramics class again. And I'm hopefully gonna get to finish the oyster piece. Did I show you guys on stream? I might have put it on the Discord. Let me see. So you might remember this from last year. Yeah, I posted this around January 2 in 2025. So a year and change ago. I posted this one, which was actually a sketchbook piece that I scanned and then sort of touched up in Photoshop. But it is a physical piece. I think a physical piece is a lot simpler than this. Obviously, I added a lot of detail by overpainting. But this is the OG. Oh, wait. Well, it's JPEG'd, but you can kind of see it. Actually, it does show through the JPEG. But yeah, it's this. It's just a less colored version of it. And I decided I'm going to translate that into ceramics. And let me show you. So I did post it here, I believe. When was this? Last week. Sometime before the streams. Oh wait, I did probably post it on the Patreon Discord too. Yes. Okay, so last week I finished this one. It's ready for the kiln, so it'll go out into the oven. Hopefully in the near future. That's not on me. That's on the teachers. So yeah. Hopefully it'll look cool. Hopefully it won't explode in the kiln, since pieces apparently can't do that. But that's going to be piece one, and the gray bit is going to be white, like a pretty clear white, which I think is going to look cool. Also, the center of the eye is going to be blue. But once that's finished, it'll go pretty nicely with the version of this piece that I want to make, which is... Oh, why is Discord tiny? Hold on. There we go. Which is this. So you can see the sketch here. And what I got so far actually advanced a little bit more than this, but I didn't take a photo of it before finishing the class last week. So the legs are looking a little bit better. But yeah, I'll model it to look like this, and then I'll paint it kind of similar to the sketch. I'll leave the whole oyster white, and the calf here, the stillborn cow fetus, will be red, or kind of the same red as the organs on the fish. So they'll go nicely together. They're both kind of seafood themed. There's a dead animal in them. And then we did some brainstorming the other day in chat here on the stream. And we landed on another third cool idea that might go well for this, to make it into a series. So it's not just 2 random pieces. Because I think you need 3 to make it into a series, right? So it's gotta be something with a crab. But it needs to have like something inside it, like probably a crab with like the top of its head off. I don't know yet what it's gonna have inside. Maybe human brains. Maybe a little guy. Yeah, some human body part is a pretty light. It's a pretty safe bet. But I'll think about it. So I don't really like this part of this little plastic chunk. So let me complete it with some other chunk of plastic. Like this one, since we only get a little chunk of it here, I think we can totally repeat it. Something like that. And then we sort of fade it in a couple of areas. So what is the one I can't repeat? I think it's this lower one. Or this too. Okay. So hopefully I can fix up that central part. Because I think it looks pretty flat. It needs more volume. So by adding other little chunks, we can help draw out some volume. So sad what the internet did to Siren Head. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, after seeing what the internet did to Siren Head in that way, I was slightly worried that the same would happen to Bloodbark, because the whole way the Siren Head craze, I guess, or the Siren Head kind of became well known was through a game, through a short indie game that a friend of Trevor's made, that then just circulated about, and eventually like Markiplier played it. I think it was Markiplier. And that's what gave it the big boost. That's what made Siren Head kind of household name. So when the Bloodbark game happened, I started getting popular. A little part of me was like, oh god, I hope they don't Siren Head it. But it's not, since it's not like a monster design that's so like marketable in the same way. I hate to call Siren Head marketable, but yeah, like it's it's not the same thing, right? So it skipped the curse. It did still get a lot of, like, it did still get really well known. A lot of really well-known streamers played it, which was kind of wild. But yeah, it didn't get to the level where it got like completely bastardized. I think people still, maybe the slightly older audience, it is made for, help with that. I don't know. Not sure. In any case, it skipped the curse, and I am thankful about that. No people IRL who think Siren Head is on the same level as Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster. That's so funny. I hope they never lose their whimsy. Okay, let me redden up the skin a little here. Then we're gonna add a general shadow layer, a deep shadow layer, and then a soft light one on top. So for the soft light layer, we want a shadow. Goes down like this, maybe really soft black shadow underneath. It should go to the right. I've decided I believe in blood bark trees. Yes. We should get people to believe in something highly specific. I think that would be really funny. Look, I don't generally want to cause like actual misinformation. But if we design something like really safe, that we just want to add a little whimsy into the world. I don't know, just a cute little creature or something. Can we convince somebody out there to believe it's actually real? How hard would that be? And in a convinced enough way that they would go out searching for it. I guess the first thing would be not talking about it on stream. But we're talking hypotheticals now. Okay, yeah, that's coming together. I want it to feel like a really big zit, which I think we've managed. So I'm gonna group all of this, call it spike 2. We got our 2 main spikes right here. This one, I think I can still work the soft light a little bit better. We are all out of misinformation, Val says with a suspiciously misinformation-shaped stomach. Hellguide situation, but don't give away the fact that it's completely fictional. Yeah, I think in order to actually, I think, okay, if we were to actually make a ruse, and I don't want to ruse anybody too hard, but if we were to make a funny ruse, I think we'd need to like localize it. We'd need to say like, this happens in this one place, and have like a plants in this place who will spread it locally, because I think otherwise it's just going to be an internet thing. But I think the funny bit would be like making it leak out into real life. Because honestly, that would make it also less traceable, in the sense that, you know, if it's leaked out in real life with a specific name, and that is not the name we use on streams or anything, that'll basically make it impossible to find for local people. Like, somebody dedicated enough could research and find that it's not real. But in the meantime, could be fun. I don't know. I'm just musing. I think I have a bit of a responsibility not to trick people too much because of the nature of my work. But I sometimes think it would be fun to create folklore, like actual folklore. You have ties with local newspaper companies. Yeah, that's the thing. It would need to be posted like in a distributed way, and I think, yeah, like specifically target very local things. Like, you know, you'd post it on a local Facebook group, not on a not just online. I don't know, maybe sometimes as a fun experiment. Buffon Cosmico, thank you so much for the follow. You've unironically talked about doing something like this. Well, go ahead and do it. Beat me to the punch. You're completely allowed to beat me to the punch. I'm just musing right now. I don't have any specific plans. So if you actually go out and do it, I wanna hear of your exploits. Okay, we got the two main big spikes, don't we? We do need to get them, make clearer shadows for them. And I think that will leave us, because we're running on 4 hours. So I think the idea would be to sort of finish these two up to a point where I'm pretty much happy with them. And we flip them. It's always a good thing to do if you're worried about perspective. Get these two to a point where I'm happy. Maybe figure out some simple filters, and the only thing that would be left to do, hopefully tomorrow, would be to fix up, because I probably wouldn't be posting this until next week. I already posted enough this week. I got the electric fungus post, and I got 2 bean posts, the one with the big eye that I posted the other day, and tomorrow probably, like between tomorrow and the day after, I'm going to post Beanoma that we did the other day with bean faces growing on my arm. So I think I'll post like me getting bit will be the first, and then the bean faces growing on me would be like a day later, I think. That's the idea. Also, hi from Argentina, Buffon. Hello, hola. You just binged the Summer Hickory Died. It's very good. I really enjoyed it. I wish there were more Western media based on Native American folklore. I wish as well. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to see more like mass media sort of horror stories that show more like native voices. I think that would be great. Okay, I need to fix up these shadows a little bit, but I want to try... What are these? Macroplastics? Okay, we're not using these. I want to try filters and stuff on top. Because I did make this by combining a bunch of different low-res little bits of plastic. So it's pretty important to make these, to see how these feel like when they're at actual resolution, and ignore these for the moment. They are just kind of placed there. How are we feeling about these? How 1 to 10, how gross do they feel? Also, look how dark these are. Okay, gonna have to lighten up those shadows. Bit of color grading, maybe. What should I add to shadows? Maybe some cool shadows. With some warmer highlights. Yeah, the internet definitely destroys a lot of local folklore by who said it before, sloppifying it. I think that's definitely an issue. Yeah, it's interesting how, like, on the one hand, it creates a lot of new folklore, but on the other hand, it flattens out a lot of the existing one. It's a power scaling that pisses you off. Suddenly they're comparing cryptids to see which is stronger. There's definitely a corner of the internet that loves, like, who would win sort of fights. I do get those people, like, who would win, the Shipetotec or the Fractal? And it's like, I don't know. You figure that out. I just wrote the stories. If you want to make them fight like toys, by all means, have fun with it. But I'm not gonna tell you. I don't know. I find it funny. I find it a little endearing, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this at that for today because it's getting on 6 a.m. So since I started late, you know, generally I would run a little longer and try to finish this, but I'm getting a little tired. It's been a long day. So we're gonna leave this at its current state. I'm gonna get sort of a clean version to save as JPEG and share it as a work in progress. But other than that, this is untitled. I haven't saved this a single time, y'all. I am playing with fire here. Okay, I'm gonna call this Macroplastics. I am actually playing with fire. Oh my god. I don't even know where I saved the JPEG because I saved a JPEG before. There's a JPEG out there called Untitled 1, and I have no clue where it was just saved. Let me do an experiment here. I'm just gonna open a new document wherever, and if we hit save, put it as a JPEG, it's gonna go to the last place, which right now is a desktop. You can see Macroplastics right there. But before, what was it? I think it was in something on my website's thumbnails. What was this called? If I find it here, yes! It was in my website's thumbnails. It was, where is it? Untitled. I lost it now. I swear it was around here. Oh, here. Down here. Just moved. Okay, yeah, it's gone now. I don't have a floating JPEG. Just wherever. That would have made me go insane if I didn't find it. Yeah. That is where we're gonna leave this one today. Something fairly simple, but we didn't have so much time today, so hopefully we'll get it finished in the next stream or two. Yeah, tomorrow's stream, which hopefully I'll have a little more time and I'll be able to start it earlier. That's the hope. Tomorrow's stream will be another one of the archaeology series. We're gonna do some more depictions of this forbidden hole god, and yeah, I'm excited about that. We might also do one or more defaced statues, so taking statues of actual Mesopotamian gods and just turning their faces into holes, which I think that's going to be a fun little thing. yeah, it's that. And then on Friday, we're going to do some folklore. We're going to do a classic monster, a vampire from Asturias, from here. She's called La Guasha, and she has a single tooth. It's really fun. It's a fun creature. We're gonna do a design take on it, while as usual with my folklore series, keeping it close to the folklore and to the as close to the sources as I can, while still interpreting it in some fun ways where I can. So there's a bunch of interesting descriptions of this vampire witch thingy. So I'll tell you more about her on Friday. But yeah, we got another stream tomorrow. We're going to do 3 in a row. So stay tuned for tomorrow because we got some archaeology and we are going to finish this bad boy, hopefully. So yeah, if you want to see how it finishes, stay tuned for tomorrow. Bean, do you want to say anything? No, he's too sleepy. We've had enough Bean during this stream. I think he deserves a rest from the limelight. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care.